is the American alligator the best pet reptile? Nah.
This is a pronghorn antelope. It's not an antelope. If anything, it's a giraffe. And this primate is a monkey. And so is this. And so is this. And so is this. Hey, that's me. What's going on here?
No, it isn't. Not at all. In fact, I would say that the alligator is a terrible pet reptile. So that's sort of like saying, is this the best pet bear? They're all horrible.
Because this clade has about all of the diversity that a person can bear. Plus it has bears.
Which is just a bonkers thing to say because dinosaurs are unbelievably awesome. But you can be the friendliest of all crocodilians and still eat people from time to time. So, you know, not perfect.
Because you are more closely related to a giraffe than a giraffe is to an elephant. Remember, this is a clade, not a description of dietary preferences. They can be identified primarily by the number of hooved tippy toes on which they stand, if they stand at all. Some can't stand. Dogs are the hagfish dog-form carnivorans. This is how scientific naming is supposed to work, by the way.
And especially if this is the last video I ever film, I just want you guys to know it's been a real pleasure.
Which is probably why your cat can only put up with you for a few minutes at a time, but your dog's enthusiasm for you is boundless. Have you ever tried to grab a ground squirrel or a prairie dog with your face? Prairie dogs are not dogs, they're rodents. But no matter what they are, they're difficult to grab with your face. And while we're on the subject of horse toes, canids include things like coyotes, wolves, foxes, dogs, jackals, things called jackals that are closer to being wolves, things called wolves that are closer to being foxes, but are part of a group of foxes that are more closely related to wolves than they are to the other foxes, foxes that are more closely related to those wolf foxes than they are to other foxes. Basically, everything small is called a fox, no matter what it is. If it's big, it's a wolf. If it's in the middle, then we'll get creative. It's a fun group.
Truth is, the alligator's cheap, right? This is the problem. A lot of people get it, it's like $100. You're like, yeah, I can afford $100 in a 20-gallon aquarium. No, that's not what you need. And that is why, overall, I would not recommend alligators at all. I mean, you know, it seems like... I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It's not me personally.
It's not you. You are in the right place. For the right person, alligator, awesome. For everybody else, alligator, horrible idea.
If anything, the opposite is true. Humans are great at being humans, but they make lousy strepsirrhines. It's gonna be a really fun video.
Right, tigers are cool, but they make horrible pets. And this is a better idea than a tiger. So if you're like tiger or alligator, get an alligator. Right, but if you're like alligator or almost any other kind of reptile, get that. Get that. We've got lists upon lists of them.
Bears are the hagfish of bear-like dog-form carnivorans because, of course they are. Animals like bears are large, conspicuous, they can only exist in low densities, and they make great candidates for hunting into extinction. But why be they crazy, Clint? Oh, I'm so glad you asked. Because eyes are woodpeckers. But how do they know where they are? You ask the best questions. They listen for them with their hideous grumpy gremlin ears and their long freaky knocking finger. Look at that finger. But right now we need to focus on the water bears. No, not those. Though you're probably right, those are the true water bears. Fin-footed, bear-like, dog-form carnivorans. These are the scurvy primates. And scurvy probably doesn't increase your likelihood of passing on your genes. This is a close relative of the monitor lizard. It's called an earless monitor. See that hole on the side of its head? Me either. Know why? They don't have any ear opening. But where were we? Oh yeah, they are the hagfish of pigs. Though I would rather call them pinnate seals and pinnateless seals. I get it, it's fine. But it's not fine. But that is the beginning of our problem. Because walruses are more closely related to ear seals than eared seals are to earless seals. This means that if both fur seals and earless seals are seals, then so is the walrus. And that's fine. It would just mean that the true seals aren't the only true seals. And I know that we already mentioned the tusks that walruses have. But did you notice what they don't have? Pinnae. If eared seals and earless seals are both seals, then so are walruses. But they are just as earless as the earless seals, despite not being part of that clade. You could lump them in with the eared seals, but they would be earless eared seals. So even if you're okay calling pinnaless seals earless, well, they aren't the only earless seals. Unless you don't include the walruses as being seals, which would mean that the fur seals and the other eared seals aren't seals either, in which case true seals seems like a solid name to differentiate them from the false seals, such as the fur seals and other eared false seals. So yes, they would be true seals, and I suppose earless seals as well, though the latter seems unnecessary as all seals would be earless, a bit like calling us wingless humans, or calling this thing a non-magic manatee, or a muggle-tea if you're British. And of course, eared seals can only be eared seals if they're actually seals, which would mean that the earless seals cease to exist as a group, so you have to pick one or the other there too. It's ugly. Why the Because it contains whales. That's why. One of my favorite moments of my childhood was spending a half an hour or so watching a tiny little antelope called the Kirk's dik-dik chew its cud. It really is like a wizard tried to make an insect-eating owl out of a leaping monkey. Mission accomplished. But it isn't a monkey. And that gets us to our mission. Monkeys. And, are you a monkey's uncle? So these are 4-chambered foregut fermenters with often fun, sometimes forked fighting implements fused to their faces and foreheads. However, the basalmost family of 4-chambered foregut fermenters fails to fashion any form of forehead fighting implements or even formidable size. And suddenly, the idea that the ancestors of hippos and whales might have been little hooved ungulates seems to make a lot more sense. Most kids don't have any weapons protruding from their frontal bones. But don't worry, they aren't unarmed. More saber-toothed teeth are coming. You see, pandas, true pandas, these red pandas, the only color that pandas ever are, you'd be shocked to see side pipes on a Ferrari, a BMW, or a Toyota. Know why? Because the old world doesn't do side pipes. Old world monkeys point down. Well, unless they're snub-nosed monkeys that have the same plastic surgeon as Michael Jackson, and Skeletor, and He Who Shall Not Be Named, and Red Skull. Those last two are from the old world. I'm really not sure if the first two are even from this world. Great dancing though. I just don't think that moose get enough love. What is a monkey? I think before we agreed that monkeys are monkeys, and therefore New World monkeys, the Platyrrhini, are monkeys. Ferrets and weasels are just mini slinky badgers, and otters are just swim badgers. You would pretty much need to call the whole group badgers, and frankly, I'd be fine with that. Then you must only be familiar with domesticated ferrets, the lamest weasels, because in my opinion, gorillas are greater than bonobos, even though they're not quite as man-like, and nothing is more hanky-panky than a bonobo, except for ducks. They're screwed up. Anyway, hey look, a fish. I'm gonna eat that. Hey look, another fish. It's swimming though, so I'm gonna have to get out a little and get it, and I'm not that good at it. Hey Frank, you're really good at that. You're catching lots of fish. Frank, you're breeding a lot. Good for you. Good for you, Frank. I'm hungry.
I'm gonna just curl up and die.
I'm gonna curl up and die here without passing my jeans on. Good for you. Is it because your feet are a little more webbed than my feet? Is that... I notice your kids have webbed feet too. That's cute. Must be nice to see yourself in your op. That's how it really went down. I've never met a person that didn't like walruses, and I expect those of you in the comments section to keep it that way. As always, like and subscribe, and we hope to see you real soon.